Good evening, History 393 students. My name is Daniel Clark, and this is my presentation on California and the emergence of West Coast rap. So I'd like to use what Dr. Sundstrom says in her PowerPoint, is that West Coast rap was a critical commentary on life in the vicinity of South Central. So, contrary to popular belief, West Coast rap originally had little to nothing to do with gangster culture. The biting, vicious gangster rap that focuses on violence and anger, the West Coast rap that we have come to know today, was not found at the beginning of the West Coast rap scene. It was an entity separate from East Coast rap or even Deep South rap, which originated with the Watts riots of 1965. Watts is a town that's just located just outside of Linwood, south of downtown Los Angeles, and north of Compton. This was predominantly an African-American community, and by the 1960s, Watts became an extremely poor town that suffered from some of the same issues that African communities face today. You know, a lack of employment and racist white police who harassed the black people who resided in Watts. This sort of pervading theme of corrupt, racist police is one that has permeated through West Coast rap culture today, and sort of influences the big groups we know, which I'll discuss in this presentation. And so, with the Watts riots in 1965, these violent and crazy riots sort of caused the emergence of these groups that we know, that we're very familiar with today. NWA. It's an acronym for I can't really say it, because it's profane language, but most of you who know NWA know what it stands for. It's one of the most prominent gangster rap groups to ever exist. They played a huge role in sort of popularizing the subgenre of gangster rap. They were born in the 1980s when the young entrepreneur Eazy-E and his recording, I guess you could say DJ, MC, Dr. Dre, started Ruthless Records. Later, the group sort of grew, and Ice Cube, MC Ren, and Arabian Prince were all added to that group. NWA was heavily criticized for their abrasive lyrics. If you've listened to NWA, you understand what I'm talking about. These were lyrics that contain numerous references to drugs, sex, guns, and violence. The group has said that their songs were merely to detail the harsh realities of life in low-income Los Angeles. A sort of city riddled with gang violence and drugs. And so you can make that choice, or you can have your own opinion on that. A lot of people argue that these are just angry punks, Others are saying, okay, what they're saying, they might be abrasive and obscene, but they were communicating a prominent problem that were going on in downtown Compton. Some songs that are popular is F the Police or Straight Outta Compton. And so this is sort of the emergence of the sort of gangster rap movement, sort of carrying this prominent notion of, brutal police behavior and racism in these low-income areas. The next artist is well known to many, beloved by many, is Tupac Shakur. So he sort of captured the heart of rap lovers. Although born on the East Coast, he migrated to California. He was born into a family of Black Panthers and inherited a sort of a political activism that sort of carried and permeated into his music. He also discuss the systematic racism of African Americans and even police brutality. Um, some of his songs that might reference are socially conscious songs are trapped this idea that as an African individual he's sort of trapped in these low income sort of poverty stricken society with no hope of getting out. Um, and so with all that said, it goes without saying that the emergence of gangster rap and the emergence of even West Coast rap all sort of stem from this idea of this sort of systematic racial oppression that began with the Watts trials in 1965 and sort of carried and permeated into modern rap today, which we've seen in recent days with the recent elections and such. But it's fairly interesting to note that California was sort of the stomping ground for all of these major influences in rap culture. And so that concludes my presentation. Thank you.